Okay, recording this video on Saturday, the 5th of April 2025, just gone 10:06 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So it's the weekend, time for another weekend futures market recap, where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I'm seeing on my charts. Well, good God, can you believe those 2 or 3 days we've just had? Unbelievable. We were building a base nicely till midweek at around 5600 on the E-mini, and then it just got blown out of the water. And we're down 500 points lower. We've got to do it all again. We've got to build and build to form a low, test into that, and then rally from that. But I don't know how long that's going to take. We're coming into a seasonal pattern that's usually a little bit bearish. People taking profits in order to pay tax bills. But for me, what was more interesting, an equity sell-off of that magnitude certainly does tend to bring all markets down. But it was huge in some of these markets. Crude's down $10. Copper got wrecked. Gold and silver got wrecked. Not things that I would have thought would have gone that way. A tantrum over tariffs and how that's going to destabilize global trade temporarily, possibly, seems to have had major implications for these other markets. Crude and copper being down so hard suggests global recession. That's not good. And then with the Forex markets, in general, the US dollar was stronger by the end of the week a little bit. Aussie dollar got destroyed. It's down at 60 cents. I don't know. I think we'll have to see the whole picture play itself out as to what this means. But all kinds of levels that we thought were normal ranges is no longer the case. But there's plenty of volatility, plenty of activity, lots of professional bars popping up on a bunch of charts. So I'll show you those. And so let's get into it. We'll go to the mini charts first, daily all the way down to the 15-minute. And we finally got on the 45 minutes some blue professional bars, which is what I'm looking for. Didn't expect it at these levels, but anyway, we'll get to that. And then we'll go through the futures markets, starting with the Forex charts. So here we go. We're on the daily chart at the mini. And this is the level that we needed to hold, 5600. Here we had blue professional bars coming into it, tested nicely, and then we were starting to rally, build through 5700, and then bang, bang, bang. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Exhaustion sell, bullish divergence. It's close-ish to the zero line, so we're going to have to make a pattern down here. It doesn't look like the momentum reads are all that solid on the downside. They're not extreme on the downside. So that's interesting. So the momentum, volume momentum, at least, is starting to be a little bit positive. But we'll have to see in the next 2 or 3 days how this pans out. And then on the better sine wave chart here, you can see this is the support level. We overshot support on the lowest time frame, and we're trying to hold support on the intermediate time frame around this breakout level on the highest time frame around here. So as soon as that went, it went in a big way. Bang, bang. 135-minute chart, here we go. You can see these lines, a pullback to end of trend. We had syncing up with cyclical support on the highest time frame here. We needed these bars, to turn red in order to signal that we were turning into an uptrend when we broke above resistance levels, but that didn't happen. Just kept on going through that confluence there. Now, the 135-minute chart, this was looking okay. We had blue professional bars into this zone until we dropped through 5600, and now we got to do it all again. Interestingly, the momentum reads are very positive down here, so net buying going on. So on the 135-minute chart, now this is the target for blue professional bars. We've got to see blue professional bars. Been talking about the 45-minute chart, this one, that we needed to see blue professional bars come in because they'd been a while since they'd popped up, and that's what I was looking for this week. And we didn't get them in the first 2 or 3 days of the week, but they did come in on Friday. So that's good. So this lower time frame chart, blue professional bars coming in here, and none on the 135. So we've got to see something on the 135, which means we're going to go through some pain in order to get that professional bar popping up. But there it is on the 45-minute chart. Exhaustion buys up here. Now we've got to go see exhaustion sells. So it's not over. We've got to see that on the downside. And then all of a sudden, these patterns that we were building nicely around here, starting to break into uptrends, there we go, got destroyed. And we're at 5100. 15-minute chart, and here we go. Backgrounds in blue, blue professional bars. That's because the highest time frame on the 45-minute chart is showing these blue professional bars here. So big pro bars, that means that's super high average trade size down there, which is good. And we've not seen that level of activity. Let me just blow this up on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, they were selling short here. They did not come back into these levels. Here we had one little bar here that we were building, one or two that we were building from there. And this is better in terms of construction. So the professionals are starting to get interested down here, which is interesting. So that's the 15-minute chart. That's the beginning and the ends of the week with the solid yellow vertical dotted lines in terms of the cyclical patterns and better sine wave. So we're through supports here. We've got to go see some end of trend patterns down here, and nothing's looking like that is showing up at the moment. There we go. In terms of the daily all the way down to the 15-minute chart, we've destroyed those levels, and now we've got to do it all again down here. But at least we're starting to see some professional bars coming on the 45-minute chart. That's some good news. Tick bar chart, here we go. So beginning and ends of the week, huge amount of activity. So this is a very stretched out chart because of all the trades that we're going through. And we had some positive activity. The background's generally in red there at the beginning of the week, and then we got blue professional bars at those highs, super high average trade size up there at 5,700, and then we got a signal short here. We squeezed a little bit, and then we continued down. Some more blue professional bars, super high average trade size, and I think that came out with the Trump announcement, and they were just selling it down at that point. But down here at the lows, some blue professional bars come in, not super high average trade size like this or this. So we need to see that, I would suggest, before this is all over. Then down here, that's about it. We've got the trailing stop 100 points away. In terms of cyclical patterns, yeah, we put in our pullback to end of trends on the low in the intermediate time frame. So this is going to bounce around a little bit. We've got to go see pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame here on the 13,500 tick bar chart. Let us look at the tick bar charts, and we'll go through the euro here. So again, huge amount of activity in these charts. This is the beginning of the week. The euro rallied from these lows. The background's in blue, so big blue professional bars here. We got a couple of signals long into that move. Then it didn't top out with blue professional bars up here, and we just started to weaken, and then we've got a signal short here. I'm actually short euro at the moment, which I find bizarre, because if the market's selling off, the euro is one of those funding currencies, and so the euro should be strengthening during this period. It's almost like a reversal of a yen carry trade. Same thing happening in the euro. So I'm short the euro at the moment. We've not seen blue professional bars take profits here, but the background's in grey, and we've got no blue professional bars coming at the lows here. So that's the euro. British pound this week again rallied, huge move into here. We had a nice signal into the highs. No blue professional bars. It was Rambo patterns, so it was weak. We knew that. The blue professional bars came in here on the retrace, and then we got a signal down at the moment. So the British pound is weak. Aussie dollar, talk about weak. Look at this. We're at 60 cents on the Aussie dollar. Luckily, we're only in the US for another 2 weeks. We head back to Australia because this is going to hurt on the credit card. And again, huge amount of activity this week. Rallied into those highs. We had a little bit of a signal here, blue professional bars coming in, but none there at the highs, none at all. And it just fell off out of bed here, and then selling it down, down, down. And then they've not come in down here at the lows yet. So the Aussie dollar is not doing well. Japanese yen, if we've got a reversal of the carry trade and people are getting caught, margin calls, etc., with the last 2 days, the yen should be rallying, and it's not. It's heading down. Nice signal at the beginning of the week into those highs. And then 10 years have strengthened this week, so anticipating rates coming down. But then as the market really sold off, they ended the week weak like this. So exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, Rambo patterns, that's unstable. We've come down. Maybe we'll hold at that level and continue to rally, because that was a lot of professional activity down here at the lows at 110. And we haven't seen a similar type activity at the highs. So that's interesting. And then gold, beautiful pattern, whole bunch of blue professional bars come in midweek, backgrounds in blue, the bars are blue. Pretty volatile up here. We get a signal, then we get confirmation, and we'd had exhaustion by bearish divergence, and we roll into a down move. So what have we gone from 3,200 to 3,040? So yeah, big move in gold. Some buying at the lows here with blue professional bars, which is interesting. So that was gold, but silver was a swan dive from 35.36 down to 29. And where's the beginning of the week? Here we go. Big pro bars into those highs, got a signal short. Another signal short here with blue professional bars into those highs because the blue professional bars hadn't come in and taken profits here. They sell it down, bang, keep on selling it down. That was that tariff announcement news. And I'm not particularly sure I understand why gold and silver got so wrecked with tariff announcements. Gold tends to move somewhat to do with money printing, but more to do with global instability, political instability. And surely with the tariffs, that's putting global instability, trade wars front and center. So I'd have thought moving to gold would have been a logical move as just a safety trade. And then silver would benefit from that as well. So it's not logical. Maybe you've got a better view as to why these particular markets are moving the way they are, which is why I'm just going to follow signals. I'm not going to try and anticipate why the moves are happening. I'm just going to be following the pros. Bitcoin survived this week. Very little activity this week, and at 83 just held on. There, yep, a little bit of trouble. Blue professional bars stepping at the lows, bullish divergence. So it's holding. I mean, the last signal was a signal short, so it might head down, but it's certainly not volatile like the other markets at all. So that's interesting that was maybe the safety play that people held on to Bitcoin there. And then here's crude. Unfortunately, no perfect little signal at the highs. Big pro bars up here at the highs. We'd had a flush signal up here, and then it rolled over. They sold it down. The pros sell it down here. On the retrace, sell it down as well. And what have we gone from 72 to 62? Mind-blowing. And no blue professional bars yet at the lows. Natural gas. Where's the beginning of the week? Yeah, so here, just backwards and forwards. Interesting now at 380, blue professional bars coming in, big pro bars down here. So that's okay. So natural gas might hold around these levels. Wasn't obvious profit taking at these highs by the professionals, but they've come in at the lows. So natural gas is interesting for a longer term play. And then here's copper. Beginning of the week, we'd had a signal the prior week into the highs. Big pro bars here, professionals active at the highs at 530, and then we get our signal, and then it tries to hold here, but then bang, they sell it down. Again, it was on that tariff news, and then it just continues down to $4.40. Lastly, the ags. So some of the ags are doing okay. So corn's doing okay. So here's the beginning of the week. Exhaustion sell, blue professional bars at the lows, backgrounds in red. We're in an uptrend in corn. So that's good. Soybeans though, no. And here's the signals. Short at the highs, blue professional bars active there, selling it down again on the tariff news there, and then bang, continues down. So that's soybeans. And then wheat. So wheat was initially weak down here, but that 520 level is important. Big pro bars coming in here. The end of last week we tested, there's one blue professional bar taking profits here, but they ramped it down. Exhaustion sell. Let's see if we get through this 540 level and wheat breaks into an uptrend. So there we go, my friends. A heck of a week. I hope everybody survived Thursday and Friday. So some wicked moves. So heads down for another week. Follow the professionals. Just try and keep my head screwed on straight and not be surprised, I suppose, by what happens next. So good luck with your trading.